Hey listeners, you're listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. Grab some tea, a midnight snack, and cuddle up in bed as we dive deep into today's most popular fantasies, sci-fi, and mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Lily.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Christy.
This season we'll be discussing the paranormal romance with political intrigue, mystery, and an Omega-verse flair. That's right, grab your future husbands-to-be. We're headed to Bride's All-America-Wear territory.
A marriage built on blood is strategy. A marriage forged in blood is diplomacy. But love is choosing the terrifying warlord and this podcast because they're both ridiculously fluffy. Calling all majestic fluffballs, this is your season.
In this episode, we'll be discussing Book 2, Mate, chapters 21 through 30, where the illness that was promised to kill Serena is finally treated for the first time, and the truth about Serena and Koen's past is completely revealed.
Before we get into it, this is your warning for major spoilers ahead. This includes both Bride and Mate, any interviews with the author, and online fan discussions. We're also avid fans of the Moss universe and might accidentally let spoilers slip for other popular romantasy book series as well. Sorry in advance, like the books, this podcast is rated R, so be warned.
Also, a friendly reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also join our growing community on Patreon for bonus content and more.
All right, well, kicking off our podcast episode to a fucking crazy start, because why did Brittany just see a ghost?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're not the only ones in this podcast, because I was just in my room getting ready, and I swear there was a silhouette that had walked by, and I knew I was in the house alone, but maybe somebody had came back, so I go ahead into the hallway and was like, is anybody there? And no, there wasn't. So I come into the podcast recording area, and my microphone is on, and it's like lit up bright green. And that bitch is not plugged in at all.
We should post the video so you can show, like, how was that working? There's got to be an explanation.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Spooky times.
Yeah.
We're in spooky times.
We're going to have to watch the video carefully as we go through.
I know, right?
Yeah, so we might have some extra ears listening. If you hear some taps, maybe that's our ghost. I don't know.
No, we won't have extra ears, because what's going to happen if I hear shit or see something behind you, I am gone.
Oh my gosh. You're like, I'm out of here.
Hey, so far, the ghosts that I've encountered have been friendly. So.
In your house?
Yeah.
That you've encountered? Okay, what?
My three-legged cat Sneakers comes to visit all the time. I've told you this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, but
I was just thinking of Sneakers.
like humans, though. Any previous human.
You saw
ghost?
a human silhouette, though? Not a cat.
I saw a human silhouette. And there have been other ghosts in the house that have had human silhouettes. I just didn't interact with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they didn't cause any harm.
It's harm to see them.
She sees dead people. Oh my god. So are you saying that if I became haunted by a ghost, that you wouldn't help me if I needed your help?
Listen, if you were haunted by a ghost and you needed help, I would do it. I would come in like a hockey outfit and lots of like hockey sticks or something, and I would help you. But I would probably have to wear some diapers.
Oh my god. You're like, yes, but reluctantly.
No, not reluctantly. I will show up at your door. But
prepared.
But I also might just faint, you know.
Yeah.
It might not be helpful.
Yeah. Well, guess who else fainted? Serena, in the last chapter that we discussed.
Yeah.
Gotta segue into that.
And
we left off. Go ahead.
I wasn't saying she wakes up into somebody's bed again.
Yeah, she wakes up with Koen once more. And I was like, waiting to get to this point. I was like, yes, finally. He knows that she is sick. He knows that something's going on. Last we left off, we interrupted Koen helping her. And they were in a bath, and she passes out, and he wakes her up with a little song on the piano this time. She sleeps in, and he wakes her up with the piano playing.
Which, called that. We all called that. Like,
Yeah, we were all like,
He's, like, super great at piano, and of course he's got to play the classics because
yeah. But it wasn't annoying like Edward.
Because, okay, but there's references to Edward in this book.
Pomegranates.
there is
not just pomegranates. The say it out loud. The fuck?
and the piano. What's going on?
When he says the piano is definitely a reference to Twilight, but also when he's trying to get her to explain what's wrong with her, he's like, say it. And she goes, I have to, out loud. And I was like, that's a reference to the movie. So he wakes her up with a song on the piano, which, like you said, is very similar to Edward. And I love that she thinks to herself, like, I can tell with a millisecond long glance that he is willing to slow roast the truth out of me. Like, he is going to sit there until I tell him the truth. And she attempts to lie about it, but eventually she's like, yeah, this has been 4 to 5 months going on, and it's supposed to be degenerative. And she explains what cortisol surge disorder is, which he already knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's obviously very upset about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although, like, he's also being super lovey. Like, hand in the hair, the tilting of her head
Definitely.
back. I was like, oh, kill me now. Like,
yes. Yeah.
The
He was
forehead
very
kiss.
touchy. Ugh.
I got just the slightest bit frustrated with him at some points when he got a little overly, where she seemed to be kind of trying to take care of him and trying to reassure him and comfort him. At that point, I was kind of like, okay, dude, pull it back. She's the one that needs the comforting, not you. But he kind of did. And it was so sweet. And they are still my favorite couple. So
That's a good observation. I didn't really think of it that way, but agreed in some moments. She admits that she was afraid to hurt Anna. And she says that one night she woke up in Anna's room and she didn't know how she got there. And so she assumed that she was dangerous. And that explains why she wanted to be alone. And then he pulls out her letters and he's like, and what are these? And she's like, you're not supposed to know about that. And he's like, they were open on your bed. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not the best thing to be reading other people's mail, but you know.
I agree, but also it does feel very in character for him. So it doesn't really shock me that he would do that. He's the kind of guy that's like, if it's for your best interest, then I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
yeah.
Very alpha knows best, I guess.
Yeah.
But he decides we're gonna have Dr. Kane look over that medical information just to be sure that your doctor was correct about that.
Yeah, he's like I don't think this is happening. Dr. Kane is gonna fix it. He's gonna fix it. And if he doesn't fix it, I'm gonna kill him.
Exactly. This is when we start to get his, like, very protective. I mean, he was already protective, but now he's, like, next level protective of her, which I'm not mad about. I get why some girls don't like it. I definitely do. I like it for the most part. It's when you stifle a girl that is a problem.
Yeah, there is a line.
Yeah.
Yes. And I don't think he stifles her so much. I think he is mostly just protecting. But so he
goes back, though, when he does kind of stifle her. And I feel like he tries to correct a little bit. So you see the flaws, but you see him also trying to correct it. So to me, it's forgivable in those moments.
I agree. I think he's not the type to get in his head angry about something and just not be able to control himself, at least when it comes to her feelings. But he is definitely pissed off because Dr. Kane confirms that Dr. Henshaw's testing was correct and that it does seem that her cortisol is through the roof and that she should not be living healthily right now. Now, one of the things that happens twice in this section is he kind of is pretty forceful with the doctors. And I both did and didn't like it. It was he was like, you can tell her right now, it's her body. Yeah. You should speak to her, not to me. And I like that he's advocating for her.
Yep.
And I really don't understand why they wouldn't talk to her about her own body, but,
I'm guessing because he's the alpha.
Yeah.
See,
still, though.
I don't know if I should get into this now or when they finally confirm that she is, in fact, in heat, not dying.
Right.
But I'm going to, I guess, go ahead. But I was conflicted about this whole plot line. Because, one, I'm happy she's not dying, but also sad that she isn't a character with chronic illness like I thought she was going to be, because I do feel like that would have it would have been yet another representation, especially with how they were presenting, how Allie Hazelwood was presenting her. It seemed like a genuine representation of a chronically ill person.
Yeah.
And the doctor, a male doctor, gets it wrong, which
is also
very realistic.
Great representation. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh. But see, the thing that gets weird is that usually they blame everything on our periods and not give us actual diagnosis. And that's what really got me upset here, is because we got a real diagnosis and then it turned out to basically just be her period. And I was like,
I see what you're saying.
You were so close.
I get your thought line there. The problem is her gender, or how she is. She is a woman and therefore she must suffer this, and it's a part of who she is. And so for that reason, it kind of sucks, because it's once again, it has to do with the fact that she's a woman, I guess, in a negative way. But I guess I don't think of it as a bad thing that she doesn't have a chronic illness, because I don't see it.
That's why I'm conflicted. I don't want her to have a chronic illness, yet I do, just for the representation. But I just hate that all her problems were hormonal.
Yeah.
They could have fixed it with we do have something kind of medically wrong with you, but also it's being compounded by the fact that it's
solved by a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also, I did want to point out that she's experiencing a lot of the stuff that she's experiencing because she is going through that transition in the wrong body style. So if she was going through it as a wolf, as a were, then she wouldn't have that same issue. But it's because she's going through as a human.
They've kind of implied that the reason she can't shift is because of the heat, and that she was going into heat early. I don't know why 25 is early, but okay.
I think what they were talking about, though, for the human versus were, is that others that go into heat, they're in their were form, therefore they can handle it better. But because she's not able to, because she is hybrid and her body's not allowing her to fully shift, then she can't. It's extra strenuous on her body.
I don't know. I got I may have it's been a minute since I've listened to it, but I thought it was because of the heat that she couldn't shift, not because she's a hybrid.
It's both.
It's both. It's because she cannot shift easily because she is going through the heat. But the point is that most people go through the heat process when they're in a wolf form. And because she is not in wolf form, she's not, according to, I think what Layla said, is it would have been easier for her if she had been in wolf form when this started. But because she wasn't, and she's having trouble shifting back because she's on her heat, it's making it harder. And other people have gone through it when they were in human form. She's not the only person that has. So I don't think it's just because she's a hybrid. It's more like it's harder for her because she's a hybrid, but it's still something that other wares go through, is the way that I understood it. Yeah. It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's both, which is it's shitty. Also, it's kind of weird to me, it would be weird if you went through all of your heat in your wolf form, because I don't know, I guess because we're not weres, but I would want to have sex in human form.
Yeah.
Not in wolf form, but maybe that's because I'm a human. I don't know. But we can talk about it more later. I was not surprised to hear that it was that she was in heat. I was more like, this is exactly like the fanfics.
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I'm slightly disappointed.
I have some thoughts that are similar, not necessarily related to her heat, but we can get there when we get there. That being said, I was thriving on this section because it was really hot and really fun to read. So she does reveal to Koen what's going on. He takes her to the doctor. We talked about this. The doctor supposedly confirms that she does have the cortisol disorder. And because of this, I guess he kind of thinks it's his mission to help her through this. Not just because he's her mate, but also because he's alpha, I guess. So it's kind of like a little bit of both, though he doesn't really say that. She basically says, maybe it's for the best that I'm going to die. Yeah. And he's like, what are you talking about? And they have this conversation where she's like, well, we can't be together. And I want to not be a burden on anybody. And he's like, if I weren't alpha and you weren't sick, what then, Serena? And she doesn't want to admit it at the moment, but she's like, And then it's kind of this beautiful moment where she's like hugging him and he kisses her forehead and they have like a tender moment for the first time that's not when she's fucking sick and like throwing up and shit. Crazed. I just remembered, oh my gosh, as I'm talking about this, I just remembered him punching that mirror and I got excited again. Like, I love Koen.
A great moment.
The following chapter is, there's an opening quote from his mind. And he says that he has easily resigned himself to a lifetime without her, but simply put, he is unwilling to contemplate a universe in which she no longer exists. Another very clear reference to Twilight. Like, yeah. I swear Edward says that himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's giving New Moon where he's like, okay, I'm going to leave. But yeah, as soon as she dies, I'm going to the Volturi to kill myself because I can't live without her.
Yep, which you guys know I fucking hate. And this author seems to fucking love because she did that to Lo, and now she's bringing it up with Koen. The tragedy, this whole section was screaming like Romeo and Juliet, tragic lovers, you know?
It did, but not without hope. I feel like it's Romeo and Juliet with hope.
I agree.
And it was also fucking hilarious between the trauma waffling about and the thesaurus prophecies. Yeah.
Yeah.
the thesaurus prophecies.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
And I also want a cult who is dedicated to massaging my feet.
Yeah, her interpretation of the cults is funny. I think Serena is just so funny in general.
Mm-hmm. Misery. Did we need to add a cult plotline to our trauma?
Although there's one part where it says the world's full of assholes and the dung beetles love it. And I feel like Allie Hazelwood gets us, that she gets our humor.
She wrote that in for us.
And that she actually, in this one, did a days without poop 0.
I just like another quote for a shirt someday.
Yes.
Yeah, that is such a good quote. Oh my gosh. The world is full of assholes and the dung beetles love it. She actually has so many good one-liners. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
She's brilliant. But so in the next chapter, Misery calls and she's like, are you alone? And she's like, we have stuff to talk about, and it's the cult stuff. And Serena's like, I know some of the cult stuff.
And she's like, Koen told you? Really? I'm surprised because men keep secrets, apparently. Sorry.
Yeah. Right? About you. Secrets about ourselves, apparently.
Yeah.
We learned that Constantine was a bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and Roscoe and Emery were a little bit on his side. We learned that Constantine was kind of like a speciesist, sort of. It's kind of like if it was about races, you would say he was racist, but it's not really that far
He thought that the humans should be servants on their knees, worshiping him.
Yes.
And he used the potential to become a werewolf as their incentive to worship him.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that does kind of make sense, like, logically, where this would go. But we find out that Serena's father is probably Constantine, which I think we did discuss.
Yeah.
There being a potential of that. But it seems to be almost confirmed whenever Misery calls and talks to her, and she's like, she doesn't confirm it, but they're like, yeah, everyone kind of thinks it.
Yeah.
And we also find out that he had people behind him that kind of agreed with him. And that's how this all got started, was some people also thought that they were better than humans, and some people gave him support, and he ended up creating a faction of people that threatened the unity of the pack. And when, I don't know if I should talk about it here, but when Koen's parents become leaders, the pack becomes ununified.
Yeah, they separate. Because she already had her mate, and the council was like, no.
Yeah, that seems...
I've got a whole rant on that later on.
Yeah.
That's some bullshit.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that.
You already know how I feel about that shit from last episode.
I also love that Misery tries to warn her about the knot, and she doesn't even get a chance.
Yeah, she's like, are y'all fucking yet? Because when y'all do, you're going to need to know about the biology. So at the base of his thing, it's like when Lily tried to teach us.
Yeah, like it is very similar. Like I was like,
listen, I just needed a diagram.
You did.
I don't do an auditory kind of thing. I need or a visual. Yeah.
No, I get it. As soon as I showed you a picture, you were like,
got it. It's a good picture.
Got it. Understood. And it's just so funny. I remember being like, hold on, and then scribbling it as fast as possible. But I love that Serena hangs up and is like, I can't handle this right now. And then she texts Misery and is like, but also, I love you and I would never, I don't regret anything about our life. And I'm happy that I met you. And Misery is like,
oh my God, are you dying?
Yeah.
Which is the same response I would have if somebody just blurted all that out, like at the end of a conversation, or even if it was randomly. I was like, way to be obvious, Serena. Way to be
and
obvious.
She leaves her hanging. She doesn't text her back after that. But Serena leaves the phone and she goes to talk to Koen, who is having a pack meeting in the living room about her. She again offers herself as bait to try and catch these people.
Which pisses
I don't know
Koen
why.
off.
He's like, feel free to stop acting with reckless disregard for your life. That would be great. And of course, she doesn't agree with that. She does ask how long he suspected that she was part of this cult. And he says since the interview, when those picket signs were waiting outside. And that's when I suspected it as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, who are these freaks? So he insists on sleeping with her because he's like, I want to be able to catch the fever before it gets bad and, keep your symptoms from getting worse and hopefully prevent bad things from happening. At first, she's like, okay, like, if you say so. But and they go to bed.
I was saying, and then in the middle of the night, she's like, no, I don't need the bath. I don't need it. I just got you. And that's enough.
Yep. Yep. She is like getting ready to get in the bath and she's like, wait, I don't need that. I feel great, actually. Yep. She's like drunk.
And then whips her shirt off. And he freezes.
Rips it off.
Look down, Koen.
She was so much like Elvira with that when she is like, come on now.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of,
I love Elvira.
My eyes are up here. No, it's
look down. Look, Koen.
Come on.
Please look.
Eyes down here.
And he's like keeping his eyes up.
My tits are down here. Come on.
I can just picture his face like freezing though, and like fear of, don't look.
Don't look.
She says, I don't need cold water because I have him. I didn't know anyone could be so perfect, but here we are. I want to touch him so much so, and I'm not sure I'm allowed. I'm like, girl, you know you're not allowed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know damn well.
But that doesn't stop her from riding him like a fucking tree limb.
She sure does.
Mhm.
She sure does. Koen is very taken off guard. It was very hot. All I have to say is I was blushing again. It was like the scenting scene all over again where I was like, huh. Like I was shaken up reading it. And I just thought, what a wonderful loophole.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Him guiding her through it.
I actually read it too. Again, me read the sex scene.
When I saw your comment that you said best sex scene ever, I was like, holy shit. Christy commented on the sex. Oh my gosh.
I was like, I was with Serena when he was like, okay, put your fingers in. And she's like, they're not big enough. I need yours.
Fair enough.
I was
Real.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
That's a real problem.
I got very skinny fingers.
I have short, skinny fingers. So yeah, girl, I'm right there with you. I need something bigger than that. And he's like, no, you're going to do what I say.
Well, no, he's like, would you like something else? And she's like, yes, please.
Yeah, but he doesn't give it to her. He just delights in the fact that she wants it. Which is amazing. I also have to say, I really like when guys talk during sex, and I like that he talks a lot during sex, and he's very praising, and he's in control, and I think it is so hot. So hot. Oh my gosh. And we don't even get everything he says. It's like more of a descriptor. It's not like actual dialogue, which I also think is, done pretty well. He also says that she's perfect and he would change absolutely nothing about her. And I was like, I'm literally melting in my seat. This is so good. And she, at the end of everything, after she's gotten her rocks off, she's kind of sorry about it because she's like, I did this to you. Like, I pulled you into this. And he's like, I have never been less sorry about a thing.
He's like, I agreed to this.
Yep.
We're good.
Let's be honest. He wanted it too.
Yeah.
All right.
And then the doctor calls and is like, she might not be dying. I gave it to my, female doctor. I don't know. I forget. Our wife?
Layla is his wife, I believe.
Yeah. I gave it to my wife to look at, and she was like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, so the next morning, she wakes up next to Koen, and the doctor calls, and he doesn't even have to look at the phone to be like, yep, hello, doctor. And the doctor's like, how did you know?
Well, see, this thing happened.
Well, good, since you asked. Yeah, so they go to the doctor, and Layla confirms what's going on. This is the scene where you were going to bring up the hormone stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, I hate that the woman's issue is always her hormones.
I know.
And I need you to be a little bit more creative. They could have continued to have her have this diagnosis, and maybe there was a cure, or not even a cure, but like something that would help, like keep her alive, that they could have played into this, but yet all of a sudden, oh, I'm not dying anymore. It's over. All my worries are gone. I'm just going into heat and I need to fuck fuck a lot of people, or fuck one person a lot of times.
Yeah.
Brittany, is that a milkshake reference?
Oh, yeah.
But I will say,
she's like sniffing him, and everybody likes the way he smells, and so it's like,
for listeners who can't read our notes, I'll let them read your note.
Yes, my scent brings all the wares to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
I'm dead.
Sorry.
I feel like Serena was thinking that. She was like, yeah, so my scent brings all the wares to the yard?
Which that doesn't, I don't understand that part. Explain that to me, because I understand biologically how that would happen, but it seems stupid that anyone in heat is going to draw everywhere. So is that even those that are mated to others? Plus with the alpha, wouldn't that get them killed if they're all like trying to mate her?
So in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, which is a vampire series, the vampires they go into like a heat thing in which any male around them instantly can smell it and get hard. And they go into this frenzy of fucking.
Frenzy.
Yeah. And so all the guys are living in a mansion and one of the girls goes into heat. And so everybody's hard. So they just fuck their own wives. But somebody's also got to fuck the girl in heat.
So the way it works in most fan fiction is similar, but not quite. At least most of the fan fiction I've read is that, at least in Omegaverses, the person who goes into heat smells enticing to people who are not mated. So, and it is possible for not everyone to be interested. Mm-hmm. Like, there are some people who are unmated that could not be interested in this person, but it is meant to attract as many people as possible, but really only intended for one mate, not really for everybody. So if you become mated, then that isn't necessarily, like, the way it seems to work is when you become mated, you don't have that problem where it's everybody knows that you're open to it, if that makes sense.
It does.
But if you are not mated and you go into heat, it is supposed to attract any nearby unmated person who is, at least in that case,
does that mean
alpha.
That Serena is not mated?
I mean, I don't know how Allie Hazelwood could have different dynamics to her heat, but you saw how he says to her in this section again, he says, "You're my mate, but I'm not your mate," which
still confuses me.
Yeah. So last episode, I feel like I explained it, but I have a different stance on it now. So when he said it in this section, to me, it meant more like, I have decided you are the only one for me, but I cannot be the only one for you because it won't work that way. So I think I was taking it in a way that was not accurate. I think what he was trying to say was, I can't allow myself to be your mate because then you will not be able to live your life because I can't have sex with you, essentially.
See, that again, it came across to me as, you're my mate, but you can have a mating with somebody else.
No, I don't think he's saying she could have another mate, but he's saying in the situation here where he's like, because you're in heat, I want you to be able to have another partner and, get through it easily, but it can't be me. That's what I think he's trying to say is like, I would never have another partner, but I want you to have another partner because it would be easier on you.
It wasn't that conversation that made me think that. It was when he said it was somewhere around where he was thinking, I can't have, I'm going to have to keep myself from killing whoever your mate is going to be. And I was like,
I think it's just written poorly because I don't think that neither of them can have a real mating to anyone else. They are only each other's mates.
I think it literally is just that he's just like, I can't be that one for you, so I would rather you.
Right.
I'm going to put you ahead of myself. But I don't fucking understand, with the whole fucking mating thing and not having sex, why the fuck didn't he just take her to the home of the assembly members that are for that dumbass rule and be like, you babysit her for the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I agree with that.
And they would have been like, you know what? Fuck her. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wish that his first reaction was like, I have to ask for permission to help her because she would be alone and she's not going to have anyone else help her. But the problem is that Koen does not want to help her because if he does, he knows that he won't be able to come back from it.
Yeah.
So he really, and it's established in this section, he really, really did not want to complete their mating because he doesn't want to put his entire pack at jeopardy, right?
And we see why later, yeah.
Which,
although he's
sucks.
Already willing to put her over the pack, so no fucking required.
But maybe that's the final step.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the final one that would make him like his mother.
Yeah, I think he knows. It's really tragic because he just knows that he's already that attached to her. And he's like, I can't go that far. That's like the last step before it would be too much, I guess.
Yeah.
He's trying really hard. It's just not going well.
Yeah. But it is beyond stupid that that's even an issue. And
yeah,
I did have to say for Brenna in this part, she confused me a little because at first she's kind of a twat about the initial thing.
Yeah, she is a twat.
Then she's like, are you dying? And she says no. And then Brenna says, okay, good. So I think secretly somewhere deep down, Brenna actually really likes Serena. And it's just, you know.
Again, I think she knows how much it would hurt Koen. And that's why she's like, okay, good. But she pulls up and she's like, you know what? I just love it when my alpha gets me out of bed to come pick up this spoiled ass little bitch. And she doesn't even have the audacity to smile at me. And I was like, then maybe you shouldn't be a raging bitch if you want people to smile at you.
Yeah, she's not getting any kudos in my mind right now. she's still a mega cunt.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
She apparently thinks that Serena should be happy to see her when Brenna is clearly not happy to see Serena. So goes both ways.
Yeah, she's not my fave. I don't know if she will ever be my fave.
I'm holding hope for her.
Not looking good.
Yeah.
We'll see. Especially since we're almost at the end.
Yeah, right?
I did tell this to Christy already, but I did a lot of thinking, and I think part of the rage that I feel towards Brenna is she reminds me of somebody who was in my life who had MS, and she would constantly be like, oh, well, you just have diabetes. I have MS. And what I go through is way worse than what you go through. So. Oh
my God, this is not a competition.
I know, right? Like, trauma is trauma.
If we're ill, we're ill. What the fuck do you want from me?
Yeah. So that is part of my rage towards Brenna, but she is not working her way to my good side.
That's fair. It does hit her though when she's talking to Brenna that she isn't dying for the first time. Mm-hmm. And she's like, wait a damn minute, I can apply for a loan. I can buy a cabin close to the Pacific coast and spend my mornings exploring the shoreline, and I can annoy Koen ad infinitum.
She could have applied for a loan previously, I'm just saying. She just wouldn't have had to pay it back.
That's funny. I just love that she ended it with, I can annoy Koen forever.
Yeah.
For the rest of my life.
Oh, and her speech when he comes home and he's hurt. And
I know.
I can't even remember what all it said, but basically she's like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, and I'm just going to do this and pretend like I can really help you, and I'm going to avoid the gross bits, but
it's really sweet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her so much. I really do.
I do.
Going back to the heat thing, did we discuss? They said she was going into heat early. And so it made me think at first it was supposed to be like kind of like menopause, but the opposite, because she's 25. How is that?
You know,
early?
I don't even remember the comment about it being early, but my thought was that when you said that, I was like, I don't remember that. But I was thinking, by early, are they referring to now that she has shifted for the first time? So could it be a timeline of when you start shifting?
I don't know. It sounded like they didn't consider her being in heat, which is why they went with the other diagnosis, because she shouldn't be going into heat this early. That was my take on that reading.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That could be... No, I mean, they could have said that. I just don't even remember them commenting on it being timeline thing. But I knew that they were shocked that she was going into heat at all. And maybe it's because she is a hybrid that it's, like, escalated. I don't know.
Maybe there's a certain build to it. It takes a certain amount of time from the start to finish.
Yeah, I don't know.
And did the mating trigger the heat?
I think so.
I think so, too.
Because that's when she stops being able to shift, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because she shifted right up until then.
Uh-huh. Until she meets Koen.
Fucking Koen.
But There is one thing I wanted to bring up that doesn't make sense to me, and I think it's going to be really important in the next section. And it's when Brenna comes and picks her up from the doctor, and they find out she's going to heat, whatever. Brenna tells her that the vampires that were attacking the border, the ones that Koen had to leave for, were wearing items, I think she says jewelry, connecting them to a pro-Alliance council member, which doesn't make sense. The council member that they're connected to is pro-Werewolf and Vampire Alliance. And it doesn't make sense to me what they're trying to thread together here. You know what I mean?
I could be...
I think they're setting them up.
That was my impression, was that the vampires were wearing specific hey, look at me, this is who I'm working for, and they were meant to get caught, and the other guys were not meant to get caught, and they weren't wearing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they could blame it on this other councilman.
This is who I work for.
I gotcha. I don't know why that wasn't clicking for me, but I was like, they'll understand. I'm going to ask my friends. Someone will get it. But yeah, I wanted to note that, and I do think that we're definitely going to see the end of that in the next section. Now, they go home, she plays house again, and Koen is so cute and receptive to it. He's like, are we going to do this again? And she's like, yeah. And he plays house with her, and I just think it's really cute. The dinner, the dishes, the shirt.
When he feeds her, or she feeds him.
Yeah. Which, is this is the first time he eats her food, right? Because he's been avoiding.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And he's like, oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also never related more than to feeling that sense of joy watching someone that you love eat your food.
Well, I imagined, because the little movies that go through my head. And so I imagined when he said, fuck me, after he took that first bite, and all of a sudden she comes out of nowhere and it's just like, okay.
Oh my gosh. Christy was like, in my fantasy, then they had sex.
Yeah. In my fantasy, she sat in his lap facing him and started hand feeding him the food.
Oh my gosh. And my favorite part of this chapter was when she was like, oh, and you drink your coffee black. And he was like, I never drink coffee black. And she's like, I've been giving you black coffee. And he was like, and I've been hating it.
That's so cute.
And I was like, of course sugar belongs in tea. Are you kidding me?
I drink my tea with nothing in it.
Me too.
I am doing it right now with no sugar, no cream. I know, blasphemous.
Yeah.
It's the Southern way. Come on, guys.
It's not iced tea.
I do the no sugar as well. Mine is more out of pure laziness.
Oh.
I have to dig out the sugar.
I drink it because I don't want anything in it.
Oh, really? No, I just don't want to scoop the sugar. So,
I mean, if it's Southern iced tea, then I'm putting sugar in it. But if I'm drinking hot tea, then I'm not putting anything in it, usually.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
But because usually if I'm drinking hot tea, I'm drinking it because I want to be drinking something that's better for me than coffee or something. But anyway, the coffee conversation took me the fuck out. I was cracking up.
Yeah, loved it.
She tells him that she is going to get the hormone shot, which is offered by Layla. Well, actually, she is the one that requests it, I think, because Layla's like, you should have another partner help you through your heat. It would be for the best. And she's like, I don't think I can be touched by anyone but Koen.
She's like, no, my body wants Koen, and that's it. And so if you don't want to have your alpha break his covenant, you need to give me this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hormone shot, which unfortunately she does not have on hand. So they end up deciding, okay, you can come back the next morning and I will give you the hormone shot. And I was thinking to myself, I guess this is going to work, but I feel my first thought was this is not going to work out. But it doesn't matter because she doesn't get the hormone shot anyway.
Yeah.
However, what does happen after she tells him that she's going to get the hormone shot is more very kinky, almost sex. It was incredibly hot. And
she licked his shirt?
Yeah. she's like, I needed to smell you, but I didn't want to touch you, so I licked the shirt that you were wearing, and it just wasn't enough.
Oh,
so
we forgot to talk about this one part in the last sex scene where he was like, it's the heading of like the next chapter, I think, or he talks about it later, where he was like, yeah, when you offered me your bite, I was a goner.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about the bite. When she was, what did he say? He said, I would bite you. Oh, he explains the glands. He explains where the hormones sit in the neck. And he's like, I would bite you right here. And she's like, where would I bite you? And he was just like, oh my God, I can't handle that.
It's like, oh, instant hard, instant forever boner. I'm never getting rid of this thing.
I don't understand why why you would have your alpha be celibate, because wouldn't you end up driving them just absolutely crazy where that's all they would think about?
I would think so. That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him fuck it out of his system. Like, fuck it out of your system, just like Owen said.
Yeah. And
or, there are people who can have relationships and still do their jobs and their duties. Like, you just need to pick the right leader.
Well, and let's look at the facts. The Northwest, which had this dumbass rule, totally fucked up. All the alphas all over the place, fully separated, coming back together. They may be fully separated again. Other areas that didn't have this dumbass rule did not go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they did have alphas like Roscoe, but still.
He's just a jackass.
Again, it's all about picking the right leader.
Yeah.
And we do find out that Koen's mother was the previous alpha. She had a mate before she was alpha, and I believe she was pregnant before she was alpha.
Correct.
And then they wanted to be like, no, you can't actually have your mate even though you already have him. And we think she's a bad example of an alpha because we refuse to go save your mate. And you went anyway.
Yeah, they set that girl up for failure.
They left to begin with. They didn't. They had people separate before that even happened. That's when they ended up separating. Was when she became alpha. Which this is my slight rant. How the fuck does that happen? Because one, his mom saves the day. She's the one that got rid of the alpha, right? So they went independent instead of following her. But they fucking just were cowards for the jackass. Now, please tell me how it was that they felt like they had to follow him, even though he was terrifying, he was a horrible alpha. But yet all of a sudden with her, they feel like they can be like, you know what, we're out. This is just too much for us.
My thing is, yes, but with this, they used the fact that she endangered herself to go save her mate as proof positive that they need a celibate, non-mated alpha. And yes, it was just, the whole idea of it is just dumb.
To me, doesn't that, give you more evidence that she's a good leader? Is that she would risk her whole life to, go, I don't know. I get that they're saying that she didn't stay back and protect the pack, but I don't think the other option was a good option to let her mate die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what is she supposed to do? Just sit around?
Had they backed her and gone with her, maybe she wouldn't have died.
Yeah, it's a terrible.
But it's about choices too, because they could have gone, like you said, they could have gone with her, but would they have had that same reaction if it was just a random person and she had gone out to save them?
Right.
Would they be okay with that and considered her a good leader? But I just don't understand how they seem to be locked into, well, this is our alpha. We can't leave, when it was the guy that they were terrified of. But for her, they immediately were like, this is too much. We're gone. We're separating. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's illogical. They're making decisions based on their fear and emotions and not thinking logically. That's what it is.
Yep, that's true. Now, I will say, I think the reason they supposedly disbanded is because of the, you just read my comment about Seth, didn't you?
Yes.
Hold on. I was going to say, I think the reason they disbanded is because of they made the law and she didn't want to follow the law. So then they all disbanded because they all had different feelings about the law, the covenant. But either way, I agree with what your point is, Christy, that they are making this decision.
I didn't think they really gave her a choice, though. I think it was just that she won.
Yeah.
And she was the alpha. She saved their asses.
And then they were like, you have to...
they couldn't really take away her mate at that point. She was already pregnant. It was a foregone conclusion.
I feel like they were like, okay, well, you can be alpha if you just stop sleeping with your mate and, you know, give up your child or whatever. And I'm just like, no, you could have kept the group together by saying, okay, yes, you already have your mate and a child. You came into it like this. We're going to see how this works out.
Yeah.
It is. And they want to blame it on the fact that she had a mate, that things didn't work out. But no, they played a hand in it by telling her that, yeah, I know that you're in love with him, but you just got to
I agree.
Get rid of him.
Yeah. Yeah. But going into the next chapter, she wakes up and Amanda and Saul are in the kitchen begging for her to make pancakes. And they're discussing that Amanda is like, what if we went to the moon? I'm like, it's Seth all over again.
Such a wonderful conversation. And I feel like Seth would have this conversation.
He absolutely would. He absolutely would. And I was like, oh, what a nice reminder of Seth. Throwback to season 1.
Did I tell you about the time I went on the moon? Did I tell you about the time I fucked the moon? Did I tell you?
I was like, way to tug me out of the fever dream of the sex from the last chapter, because we went from, oh my God, I can barely read this, to what the fuck is happening?
I feel like we've definitely had these conversations.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Serena is like, guys, why are, you know what, but I've been questioning, like, why are there not were butterflies or like were penguins or whatever? And they're like, this is absolutely illogical and I don't want to talk about it. And Amanda leaves. She's like, I can't talk about this.
But doesn't, Brain, who's the other guy?
Saul.
Doesn't Saul eventually go, yeah, I want to talk about this because this is a good topic. I had to say face in front of Amanda, but we're on.
We're gonna have this conversation. Yeah, when he takes her back to the doctor, he's like, actually, I do really want to discuss this. So Koen has to drive to the border to oversee the extradition of the vampire that they caught the day before. And this is when Saul follows behind them, which, by the way, he is bumping his music so loud that she's like, his brain is going to combust. And my first thought was, that's me. That's me.
Me too.
Yeah. I have had people get in my car and be like, this is far too loud. I can hear it over there in the other parking lot. Like, okay, yeah, it is obnoxious, but I'm living my best life, okay? Leave me alone.
I was recently talking to Christy about music, and I told her, I was like, I've always been told I can't sing. So if I'm going to sing along, I have to be able to not hear myself. So volume all the way up so I can sing along.
Oh, it's just so great. I was like, that is me as hell. But they step aside to talk. Koen is like, I need to talk to you. And Serena's like, yeah, I need to talk to you too. So they step behind the clinic, I think, like where that guy first came up to her. And first, Serena tries to apologize for pressuring him into sex twice. They had 2 moments together and he's like, that is not necessary. First of all, I wanted that and it's okay. And second of all, we are wearers and the consent is a little bit different because our genetics are different. I thought this was a really interesting conversation because I think it's a problem that a lot of people have when they read the fan fiction with Omegaverse, is that there's sometimes no explicit consent because of the heats and the ruts and stuff like that. So I thought it was interesting that she put that in here seemingly intentionally to be like, hey, the consent is nuanced because we are not humans and wares have different biologies, you know? So for anyone who is a fan fiction reader, I'm wondering how you felt about that if you read this book. I would be interested in hearing people's feedback on that because I know people have issues with that in the fan fiction. So, but then Koen says his mother was the last pack alpha and his dad was her mate. So that's how we confirm some of the things we've been suspecting.
And why he's so serious about the celibate part.
Yeah.
Because they're blaming him for being born. God forbid.
Yeah.
Well, I think he sees it too, though, that it seems like he sees what his mom did as a mistake. And he doesn't want to be put in that position of failing the pack, even though she did not fail the pack, but in his mind, failing the pack to save his mate because he knows he will make the same choice.
I'm sure that when you're told that your whole life, he's also hurt because he's lost his mom and his dad.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably has seen that episode or that event with certain eyes, and they're biased eyes.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I read it as he felt like she made a mistake, but rather he was trying to make sure that he protected the people that were still there. That he saw the aftermath of her decision and he was like, there can't be something like that again.
Right.
So he gets real serious about it. And we learn that Constantine decided that his cult needed to take the land from the Wares, that it was their right. And his cult kind of exploited that lack of unity between the Huddles that was there. And Constantine killed Koen's mother. And so he killed Constantine.
Yeah, which he then claims that made him alpha.
Yeah.
That was such bullshit. And that's how cults work, is that they change the rules to suit them.
Yeah.
And then get all like, we're the victim when the other side doesn't follow what's left of the rules. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you fucking.
Mm-hmm. We would know something about that actually fairly recently. Mm-hmm. We live in a cult. Actually might be experiencing that right now in America.
Yes.
I will say this. I was afraid that Allie Hazelwood was going to pull another Mick on us, but I was very, very much so glad that Saul nor the doctor was in on this.
Mm-hmm. But after their conversation, Serena makes the decision that she should leave because she respects his feelings on this. And she's like, yeah, I think it's for the best of your pack and for you that I don't make this harder on you. And he doesn't really say anything. He seems kind of disappointed and sad about it, but he knows the reality is maybe that's what should happen. He doesn't protest it, I'll say. But he's very silent. I think he was sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He probably wanted to say no and get on his knees and say, please, please stay.
Yeah.
But he's controlling himself by keeping stoic and silent.
Of course. And this is when we find out that she's going to be kidnapped again. She speaks to Saul very briefly and is like, hey, I'm going to go get this shot now. She walks inside and the girl that Saul was talking to attacks her, and they have drugged the doctor who was there to help her, and they drag her out, and they keep calling her Ava, I guess, Ava.
Yeah.
And exactly what Koen had feared would happen is essentially happening right now. They're kidnapping her, and they're going to use her to get Koen to come talk to them. They did say to her, we are
dumbest
people...
plan ever. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It is. I don't really like the storyline from here, I guess. I feel like it's an interesting... I thought that the cult storyline was kind of interesting. And I was interested in where it was going, and I wasn't really super disappointed by that. It was more that I felt disappointed in how everything was connected. Of course, her parents are the one that killed his parents. And of course, he's the one that killed her parents.
Yeah.
It just felt very, I don't know. Did it have to be like that?
Yeah.
Did it have to be tragic?
I agree.
Like
it was disappointing. And okay, so first, when she wakes up in this house and she meets her grandmother, I'm picturing...
It's her aunt.
Oh, is it her aunt? I wrote in the thing, I was like, I'm picturing little old granny in a rocking chair.
No, because she says specifically that she had gray hair, but that she looked to only be about 40-ish.
Yeah, but see, I'm still picturing little old granny wearing a rocking chair.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
And they're like, oh yeah, we're so nice, and we kidnapped you to come talk and give you pictures of your parents.
But there's a car. You can go at any time.
Yeah, you can totally leave, which, by the way, you're in heat, and I brought some men. Come on, men, for you to fuck. And
what fucking aunt is this?
Your choice.
I hated the whole thing.
Yeah. And I was just...
And they won't call her Serena. They keep calling her Ava, even though she was like, oh, did you prefer Serena? And then she's like, anyway, Ava.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who got described as having a button-shaped nose, but...
The humans.
This is a little weird tangent thing, but I was like, what the fuck is a button-shaped nose? Like, I'm picturing a little bunny. Like...
Just like a very small nose.
Yeah. But it was the three humans that were sitting, I think I was on the couch, and that she said that they all looked the same, so they had to be from the same line. So, yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole like, oh, we're so nice, and you're free to go, and we just wanted to talk. Then give me your phone. Let's talk on the phone. You don't need to drug me and kidnap me. Oh, wait, you also want to draw my mate here. That's what that is. Okay.
Yep. And tell the world's creepiest fucking story about how she came to be.
Seriously, I felt so horrified for Serena that she had to find out that her mother was not only a devoted follower to this piece of shit, but also was young. She was like 20-ish when this happened. She was being exploited and brainwashed, and that she reads this letter from her mother that was last sent to Irene, if it's a real letter, which I'm assuming it is.
Yeah.
And the letter is basically like, yeah, he's kind of upset with me because I kind of talked back to him, but I'm going to spend my life, trying to make it up to him. And I'm claiming that this is his baby.
Do you want my kid?
Yeah, it's really shitty to read.
Yeah.
It is.
For her the first time to see her mother and feel connected for the first time. She sees a picture of her mom and she's like, wow, that's like, it looks just like me. There's no denying it. She's definitely my mom. And she feels bad for her mom because she was so young and like taken advantage of. It's just so shitty.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And then I think we talked about this in the first book when the prologue happened, or in the first episode of this book where the prologue happened. I think we were both like, or all three of us, I don't know. I know I'm pretty sure I said if this man who rescued her turned out to be Koen, I'd be upset. And then it did.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I was like...
Which doesn't make sense because the slowed heartbeat, that was what made us think it was a vampire, and something else happened too that made it sound like it was a vampire that rescued her because they look like death.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. And I wonder if the slowed heartbeat is because they're mates technically, which is even grosser because she's a baby and yeah, I don't know.
That brings into, like, I thought about it and I was like,
he was only
okay,
15.
He was 15, but his mother and father became mates in childhood or whatever. And so why didn't the mate bond click in then? Why did it wait until she was in Lo's house being rescued?
I don't know.
It's the whole, I need Allie Hazelwood to define the rules of this whole mating thing better.
Yeah.
I would have been happier if he had been there and even if he had killed her parents and done the tragedy that is, personally killing her mother or whatever. but it wasn't him that picked her up out of that closet and carried her to safety. Like, something about it icks me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
It does. And does it feel a little bit unfinished in a way? Like, I'm not sure if we're going to get the full story of what happened that night, because it seems like they described it to a certain point with this, but there's still questions about, like, what happened in those years, who actually took her to the orphanage. Oh, the thralling. That was the other reason we thought that it may be a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Because she couldn't remember.
Why she didn't,
Yeah.
remember. Why she doesn't remember.
Yeah.
Like, there's pieces that don't seem to fit with the explanation that came about in the end. So I'm hoping that will be corrected before the end.
I hope that it wasn't him that personally killed her mother, or if there's some kind of twist that we're going to see, because it really is fucking tragic if he was the one that killed both of them. However, I still feel like I would be okay with it. I just don't like it at all. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I still like Koen.
Yeah.
Auntie, whatever her name is, sitting there going,
Irene.
Well, Auntie Irene was sitting there going, your mate killed your mother.
Oh,
Your mate killed your mother. Well, your mother tried to fucking kill him. So,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And I went back and read that first prologue because my first thought was, when we talked about it, we discussed how much of shitty parents they were. Like, they didn't care about her. And I went back and read, and it's just as evident. I mean, we were talking about how the mother immediately runs away from her to protect Constantine. And in that same scene, he is like, I don't know if you guys remember, he's like lying on a couch and he's like, leave me alone.
yeah, she's like,
I just want to get some fucking rest around here.
she's trying to save his life. And he's like,
Yep.
shoo, Nat.
Yeah.
But it's weird, though, because then that actually was what we had talked about before. If that is Constantine that was in the bed, that was asleep, and that got killed, what doesn't make sense about that is because when she talked about him, it was not like, my father is in bed. It sounded more to the effect of like,
Right.
this guy that my mom is sleeping with is in bed.
Right.
And
Yeah,
That's true. It was like that.
it was.
And that's odd because wasn't he her little sunlight glint or whatever like that?
for the mother.
That's what
no-
Irene says.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supposedly for the mom.
No, that's what Irene says about Constantine.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense.
And she also says that her mom loved her and kept diaries about her and it was destroyed. And I'm like, okay, this has got to be false because
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you go back and read that prologue, she's starving. Her parents are not taking care of her. They thought she was 3 years old and she was like 7 or something.
Right.
So, I mean, she's malnourished, she's neglected, and they leave her to like fend for herself. And like the opening paragraph of that chapter is that she rushes to her mom to comfort her, not for comfort for herself, to comfort her mother for what's going on. It's already an abusive, toxic relationship in that first chapter.
Yeah.
It's shitty.
Huh.
And on top of that, Auntie Irene is literally trying to get Serena to fucking kill her mate.
Right.
Yep.
She's fucked up.
Yep. Which is nuts.
Yeah. Because, you know, we want the heir to the cult to kill him.
Yeah.
Is there any chance, because as y'all were kind of talking about like that whole night and everything and the fact that she's starving and not well taken care of, is there any chance that that is that few years period that she doesn't remember or something? That was not actually, I know she said it was her mom, but that wasn't really her mom downstairs, that they were already dead, maybe?
I think it's her mom.
Okay.
I don't really know, but I have a feeling it's probably her parents. But I mean, she said that she looked at that picture of her and was like, it's almost like looking at a picture of me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, no, that was her mom, but that they died at another time. She went with somebody else, maybe, I don't know, not Irene, but somebody else from the group. They starved her. And then that's who, and they played the role of mom.
I don't think so.
They were on the run, supposedly.
Yeah.
But I just think they're both shitty parents. I think they were too involved in themselves and their little cult.
Mm-hmm.
And
as it happens.
yeah.
Yeah. According to Koen, he did not know who she was, and he also didn't know he had killed her mother until he contemplated it a few days prior. And he wasn't sure, but he had been thinking about it for a few days. And he looks at her in this last chapter and he takes full responsibility for it. He says, even if he didn't kill her himself, that he takes responsibility as an alpha. Like, everything is on him. He was there. He made the decision to do it. And he did rip out Constantine's heart for sure. And he just doesn't remember if he killed her mother specifically, which is crazy, but probably realistic. You know what I mean? Like, if he even says a comment like,
there were so many
I don't remember her because they threw so many women at me.
Mm-hmm.
There was all these women protecting this terrible piece of shit. And that's shitty in itself that, like, they all were killed on his behalf.
Yeah. And thankfully, he did not make the same supposed mistake that his mother did. He did bring it back up. Of course, like, I knew that if Koen was there, he came very much like Owen did at the end of Bride. He came there on his, like, because he had a plan, and it was, yeah, okay, I'm tied up, but I still kick your ass.
I'm thinking hopefully he didn't come there alone and that there are people who are waiting with him. And I'm also thinking that she frees him in that last sentence.
Mm-hmm.
She cuts his ropes.
Did I go a chapter too far then?
Did you read?
Oh, were you revealing that to us?
I thought that it ended with them back at their cabin. So I'm accidentally went a chapter too far. Oops.
Accidentally, my ass.
Reveal of the century.
We can take that back.
Goodness.
We can take that back.
No, we're going to have to leave that in.
Well, then you just nailed my thing, because I thought Serena was about to shift and eat her some fucking people.
Oops.
So he did bring back up. Okay. All right. Well, I was thinking that you were like manifesting that.
Right.
But
no,
I mean,
okay, like, sometimes I get, when I'm just into the story, I lose track, and apparently I did lose track.
well, I guess we'll read that next section because, yeah, this one leaves off on her cutting the ropes for his hands. And that's why I was like, can't stop reading now. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Wait till you find out where I thought we were going to leave off.
Oh my God.
Because I was like, what the fuck? We need to still read. What? No, we can't stop here.
It's worse.
Okay, so they're about to have sex then, right? Is that the part? They're about to have sex?
I don't want... Okay, Christy wants a reveal, but I don't. Don't tell me anything.
Don't tell me. I'm just saying. I'm guessing.
Oh, man. I don't know yet. I feel for her so much, however, at this moment. And I'm just like, ugh. We didn't talk about Nellie. Is that her name?
Is that the little girl?
Neil?
What? The one book girl?
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Yeah.
She's like, I broke
How do you
a
say her
rule.
name?
I read a book once.
Oh my God.
Yeah. How do you say her name? What?
No? Nell?
Nell?
I
Neely?
don't remember how it was spoken in the
Damn it, Brittany.
audiobook. I will try to go back and remember. I think Nellie.
Her. Yeah, I was kind of thinking Nellie, probably. But she brings her food. She tries to get her to do the ceremony for mating, and she puts the markings on her. But she also reveals a couple of things, which I'm thinking either it is the total truth, and this girl is, like, telling Serena everything about them, or it's all a lie about how their organization is set up, the cult.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, it sounds so realistic. I think it is the truth.
Who knows what cult members are told?
Yeah.
Lie, truth. Yeah. She could think it's the truth. It could be a lie.
True.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's very true. But at least it seems that what she's saying, she thinks this is the truth. But I'm wondering if that will come back later. And when they try to go after the cult, they'll use all the information that Nellie said. I don't know. Well, any final thoughts about this section? I was really, really happy to finally get some sexy scenes.
Yeah.
They were nice. The sexy scenes were nice.
They were good.
The plot got a little disappointing, and at this point I was like, okay, so we've had the confrontation with the cult and whatnot. Where's this gonna go? We've got a whole nother...
Yeah, it's kind of my thought.
Whole nother, 10 chapters to go?
That is my thought as well, but I guess the overarching plot is going to be how they convince the council members to allow them to be together. Either that, or he just makes the decision for her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or for them.
I'm hoping they wrap it up really strong and that we get a finish out to a lot of these storylines that actually make sense.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll make a lot of sense. I do think that I kind of feel like Bride had more tension to it, ironically, because Brittany felt the opposite, that there wasn't enough tension to Bride. But I kind of feel like there wasn't that much tension in this book.
I feel like the tension in this book started out strong, and
yeah,
especially in this section specifically, just died.
Yeah.
What? She's about to crawl up him.
Yeah,
remember, I accidentally read a chapter.
I will vouch for you and say, like, I don't know what it is, even though there's the looming
no longer
threat.
Dying.
Yeah, even though there's the looming threat of the cult, I felt like something was taken out of the book here, and it might have been the threat of dying. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it was quick. There was too much of a quick resolution. It felt about like what's the guy's name from Zodiac Academy? That he basically comes in, and every time there's tension of like
Gabby.
Yeah, that anytime something's going to happen,
Gabriel,
and it's like, oh, okay, it's fixed. Like that's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah, I agree with that. It felt like well, that was fast. To me, I kind of thought the heat thing would be revealed in a way that was like, she gets to a breaking point and then they have to fuck it out to save her life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
that's kind of what I thought. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't more dramatic than it was, you know?
Yeah. It was a doctor visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a doctor visit. But I mean, not that I didn't enjoy the little moments, just that I was kind of thinking it would go that way. And at least that would have held that tension a bit longer.
Yeah.
Then they went to the doctor one day and then they came back the next and she was fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. I'm still enjoying the book. I will say Koen did get to me. Lowe had me from the beginning. Koen did not. He did get to me. I'm enjoying him so far. But yeah, that it for this section?
I think so.
All right. Well, we will end there. We hope that you'll join us for next week's episode. We'll be discussing Book 2, Mate, chapters 31 through the epilogue. New episodes drop each week, and don't forget to check out last season's discussion on the Twilight series, available now.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. That like and follow are super important for us to continue to bring you new episodes each week. So please, please, please do so. You can also support us by joining us on Patreon. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Raiders podcast. We'll see you next week.
Happy reading, listeners. Don't stay up too late.